This is the GIS Evening Report for Wednesday, June 12, 2024. I am Chrisanne Mitchell. In the headlines, government says new pension scheme will take into consideration contract workers in the public service. Stay with us for details of this story and more.
This June marks government's second year in office. Let's reflect together in a series of town hall meetings, discussing and planning for the next year and beyond. St. Patrick, we're coming your way first on Monday, June 10th at MacDonald College. Then it's St. Andrew the following Monday, June 17th at the Deluxe Cinema in Grenville. On Wednesday, June 19th, we journey to the sister Isle of Carriacou at the Hillsborough Government School. And it all culminates in St. George on Monday, June 24th at the Boca Secondary School. All meetings start at 7 p.m. Your voice matters, and we want to hear from you. Join us in this engaging and informative series of discussions as we work towards a better future together. Don't miss out on this opportunity to engage with your government officials. Also live on GIS, Channel 22. Together, we can work towards a brighter future. See you there.
Welcome back. Government says consideration will be given to more than 3,000 contract workers in the public service under the new pension scheme. Cabinet has already approved the pension policy framework, and government will go to Parliament in October to enact legislation to create the new scheme, of which part of the contributions will come from government as the employer and part from the employees. Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell made the announcement on Monday during his administration's first in a series of town hall meetings to commemorate their second year in government. The new scheme will cater to workers with both contracts for service and off service.
We have committed that come the 1st of October, we will be going to Parliament to enact legislation to create a new pension scheme for these workers to ensure that they have the opportunity to have a pension. And I want to be clear, the established workers who have their pension established by the Constitution, we are not interfering with you. You have your pension, we restored it, we paid the retroactive, and we will continue to pay. But that is a pension that you do not contribute to. That is a pension that is funded entirely by the taxpayers of this country, you, me, all of us. We cannot continue in a situation where you have 3,000 persons who don't have pension. Because when they retire, what will happen to them?
Prime Minister Mitchell said this is the first step in the process to abolish the distinctions between contract for and off service, since they are all government employees and must be treated as such. He said the new pension scheme will be designed so contributions are transferable from one job to the other.
Anyone who is hired by the government thereafter has to come on to the pension system where they contribute, the government contribute, and when you retire, you can have your pension. If you move from the government to the private sector, you could take your pension with you. If you want to exit the government service, you can get the contributions you have made to that pension for yourself. Because I want you to understand something about the current pension system. It has certain rules. You have to work by a certain length of time before you could get it. So if you have to work for 21 years and you want to leave at 18, you cannot leave because you will not get the pension. So we could be honest, some of us grind it out only because we want to make sure we get the pension. But we have to create flexibility. So the new pension scheme will ensure that if you want to leave and you can take your contributions with you. You can transfer your pension to the private sector or to wherever you wish to go.
In 2022, government made pension and gratuity payments to qualified established workers and retirees. Contractors have been identified for the new school maintenance program. Government officials, including Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell, as well as Ministers for Infrastructure and Education, met recently with the contractors. Annette Moore has the details in this report.
On Tuesday, June 11th, government officials, including the Prime Minister and Minister for Infrastructure and the Minister for Education, met with contractors who will be part of the new school maintenance program. The Education Minister, Senator the Honorable David Andrew, explained that more than 100 schools need to be maintained. He says lack of routine maintenance causes many vexing issues, including school disruptions. Therefore, to address this and avoid loss of instructional time, routine maintenance will be implemented by select contractors in all school districts under the school maintenance program. Each contractor will be responsible for approximately 8 to 12 schools. Minister Andrew shared his expectations with the contractors.
We look forward to good, timely work. We don't want our schools to be in problems every other day. And so we are hopeful that if you continuously assess and you're able to treat with small problems before they escalate into something bigger, we could maintain our facilities a lot better. And so we are happy to engage you. We look forward to good working relationships. You would have some supervisors that you would work with who would ensure that the work's done to standard, but you would have to ensure that the schools are assessed and whatever problems are addressed with the team of persons that you would engage under the terms of reference provided.
Chief Technical Officer in the Ministry of Infrastructure, Kevin Blash, laid out the terms of reference.
You will be responsible to execute a maintenance task according to the agreed scope of works, specifications and industry standards, which you are all aware of. You will be required to provide all of the necessary materials, equipment, manpower, labor required to complete maintenance projects, ensure compliance with health and safety regulations, environmental standards, coordinate with the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Infrastructure, school administrators and supervisors to schedule maintenance tasks and minimize disruptions to school operations. Report progress, issues, concerns to the assigned supervisor in a timely manner. Document all maintenance activities, including work orders, service logs, and warranty information. Conduct post-maintenance inspections and address any deficiencies or warranty claims promptly and effectively. And finally, demonstrate professionalism, integrity, and respect for school property and personnel.
Blash says there will be supervisors to serve as a focal point. They will interface between the ministries, schools, and the contractors. They will also monitor and oversee the work of the contractors, providing guidance, support, direction, and corrective action where required. Progress reports are expected from contractors and supervisors, who will also be subject to performance evaluations.
To all the brothers that here, we pray that what we are about to do for this government of Grenada, we will do it from we heart and wholeheartedly, and let it be a success, and not only for we, but for Grenada and whole.
With the school maintenance program now being implemented, Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell looks forward to overall better working conditions for teachers and an improved learning environment for students.
Our schools are really symbolic of the foundation of the country and the future of the country. And if we don't put a little emphasis in maintaining them and improving them so that both the teachers, the support staff, and our students, our children, have at least a comfortable environment to work, play, and learn in, cooperating, because that's part of what we have to teach each other, to cooperate amongst each other. Sometimes we compete rather than cooperate. Then it makes it more difficult for next generation of Grenadians to succeed. So we are very keen to try and improve the overall working environment for teachers and students. And obviously, now that you've taken on that task, a lot will depend on you. We want the relationship to be functional. We want it to work. We are not here to agree on everything. There's never one way to do any particular thing. But we should be able to discuss it, and once we agree upon it, implement it and monitor it. If it's not working, we should be courageous enough to say what we have agreed to do isn't solving the problem. So let's look at the option B or the option C that we might have disagreed with or decided not to pursue the first time round. I'm here, the Minister of Education is here, because we are committed to trying to improve the government facilities sector by sector. and we have to take one at a time, and we've chosen education as one of the primary ones to do so. And the fact that we are partnering with you to do so is also a recognition that there are things the government can do well, there are things the government cannot do well. And we have no hesitation in saying, from our perspective, things like maintaining the schools requires partnership with contractors, requires partnership with the community. So myself, the Minister of Education, the PSs, we may have a little knowledge about construction, but we are not contractors. So we're not trying to do your job, nor are we trying to tell you how to do the job. But we may have common sense things that we would want that we can share and encourage you to adopt and to support. And we also want you to come up with solutions. Not because they've done it this way for 40 years, means we should do this way for 40 years. If there's a better way, if there's an improved way, if there's a cheaper way, if there's a more effective way, we want you to be able to suggest to us that there might be other options available for improving or challenging or solving the problem. And the issue you raised of commercial and industrial grade stuff is one of the issues that I've raised with the PS, and we've been talking about it because we buy domestic stuff for stuff that we know is heavy trafficked, heavy use. I mean, there are hundreds of children in school. You know the toilets, you know the furniture as well. Oftentimes it's just not made for heavy use and for frequent use. So those are some of the things we have to help work with in the long run so that your job becomes easier. But we are committed to this partnership. We want to see it work, and obviously we have to keep the communication open. So you may find that periodically, once a quarter or once a year, you may ask for a sit down so that you could share your views. We could give you feedback on what we are hearing and what we're seeing, or what the principals or the teachers or the supervisors might be saying, so that we continue improving the relationship. As you know, the government's budget is our budget because it's our money, it's taxpayers' money, and there's a limit to it. And so we want to make sure that we can show the public that we are doing value for money.
The Infrastructure Minister is pleased that the start of contractors' work coincides with the end of the school term, thus giving them access to do a thorough evaluation. There will be additional meetings for contract signing, followed by the official launch of the school maintenance program. Permanent secretaries from both Ministries of Education and Infrastructure were present for this meeting. For the GIS Evening Report, I'm Annette Moore.
Thank you, Annette. We'll have more news after the break.
Gun-related crimes can pose serious threats to our communities, leaving villagers to mourn, children without fathers, and broken families. Positive activities like sports is what we need to bring our communities together, especially our youths. So let's bring in the guns. You have nothing to lose. The gun amnesty remains in effect until July 30th, 2024. Folks, let's bring them in.
The gun amnesty remains in effect until July 30th. A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Welcome back. Should the government and other stakeholders strengthen and enforce existing firearm regulations to prevent the proliferation of illegal firearms and reduce gun-related violence? This is the mood chosen for this year's Youth Parliamentary sittings, which commence on Monday, June 10th at the Grenville Secondary School. Minister for Youth, Senator the Honorable Jonathan Lecret, and Parliamentary Representative for St. Patrick East, Honorable Dennis Cornwall, are impressed with the quality of the presentations.
What I saw this afternoon was a group of trailblazers, revolutionaries, visionaries, champions. Grenada is certainly in good hands as it relates to our parliamentary democracy and the cadre of young persons that we are grooming to ensure that when we pop off the scene today or tomorrow, there is a number of young persons who can stand the test of time and debate issues in the House of Parliament that require the kind of verve, the kind of strength and the kind of tenacity that you showed today on either side of the House as you represented your percentage of the population, and that is your youthful percentage.
Democracy in Grenada is alive and kicking. I sat there for the entire session, and I was very, very much impressed by the performance of the opposite side as well as the government side in terms of the level of presentations that were made in favor of or against the proposal that was made, hearing this youth parliament and so on.
Minister Lecret said the aim is to provide avenues for the young people of the country.
I am proud of you. I will continue together with the Ministry of Youth and Sports and all of the individuals who comprise the Ministry of Youth working to ensure that this youth parliament and the reformed youth parliament structure works and work well for you so that it is value added and sustainable, and so that our young people receive something out of it that they can carry into the next generation.
Here are some debate highlights from the St. Patrick's sitting.
Madam Speaker, this, I hope, is not the same theme that opposition members will be sharing here today. Madam Speaker, the implementation of a 90-day firearm amnesty is necessary and effective as it removes the shackles and bondages that have been beating us into submission of the law, and instead it allows for free and voluntary compliance with the law subsequent to reduction in the number of illegal firearms in circulation.
Now, while the intention behind this initiative was noble, it is imperative that we conduct an urgent inquiry into the effectiveness of this amnesty. We must evaluate its impact comprehensively to understand whether it has truly mitigated the threat, or do we need to impose more effective measures. Madam Speaker, we cannot afford to become complacent.
Firstly, Madam Speaker, the firearms amnesty was only recently implemented. Any policy, Madam Speaker, especially one targeted to curb deep-rooted issues such as gun violence, would need sufficient time before being properly evaluated. Madam Speaker, conducting an inquiry so soon would not provide a comprehensive understanding of the possible impacts and results.
Strengthening our legislation should be the first step in a safer Grenada. And secondly, Madam Speaker, you're talking about, firearm amnesty, Madam Speaker, but they even fail to even enhance the law enforcement agency. Imagine a police officer are not even equipped to deal with persons that are holding illegal firearms, Madam Speaker. What they have is batons and what else? Pepper spray? Come on, Madam Speaker, we could do better than this.
Youth parliamentarians from St. Mark and St. John will face each other at the St. Rose Modern Secondary School on Thursday. Those from St. David will meet at the Corinth Government School on June 26th and the following day at the GBSS for St. George. All sittings will begin at 3:30 p.m. The Ministry of Education, in collaboration with Harder Education, is hosting the annual Mental Mathematics Quiz Final on June 27th at the Bel Air Government School. It features grade 6 students, with each school representing one of the 7 districts across the island. The finalists are Leicester Rosary Catholic School, Hermitage Government School, St. Andrew's Methodist School, St. Joseph's RC School, known as Pomrose, St. George's Anglican School, Westmoreland Junior, and St. John's Anglican School. The competition will be held under the 4 components: 1 mental arithmetic round, 2 power round, 3 bonus round, and 4 Jeopardy round. Stay with us. We'll be back after this break.
This June marks government's 2nd year in office. Let's reflect together in a series of town hall meetings, discussing and planning for the next year and beyond. St. Patrick, we're coming your way first on Monday, June 10th at MacDonald College. Then it's St. Andrew the following Monday, June 17th at the Deluxe Cinema in Grenville. On Wednesday, June 19th, we journey to the sister Isle of Carriacou at the Hillsborough Government School. And it all culminates in St. George on Monday, June 24th at the Boca Secondary School. All meetings start at 7 p.m. Your voice matters, and we want to hear from you. Join us in this engaging and informative series of discussions as we work towards a better future together. Don't miss out on this opportunity to engage with your government officials. Also live on GIS, Channel 22. Together, we can work towards a brighter future. See you there.
The town of St. George will pay tribute to fathers by hosting the inaugural We Pan Fest on Sunday, June 16th at the Carriacou Pedestrian Plaza. It will highlight the talent of steel band orchestras in the communities and the spirit of culture. It is also geared towards honoring the fathers who have paved the way for many young steel pan players now in the constituency. The event is being organized by Senator Claudette Joseph and key members of the constituency.
When you're talking about culture, pan stands out. Every community, every village in the town of St. George has a steel band in close proximity. We have the reigning Panorama champions and actually the steel band winning the most Panorama champions to date, the next New Dimension Steel Orchestra. We have the Suzuki Pan Wizards, and we also have in the town of St. George another steel band, the NCB Angel Harps, sorry, not NCB, Public Bank Angel Harps. And these are community groups that stand out in the constituency and of which, of course, we are all very proud. And then we have our very close and fraternal neighbor from St. Paul's, the Court Bank Common Cheryl's, never to be left out in anything pan-wise that is happening in the constituency of the town of St. George. Will also be a special event that honors our fathers. And as you know, the steel band movement is weighted heavily with our men folk. Whether you're talking founders, arrangers, managers, players, while we have a lot of women participating in the movement these days, the birth and leadership of the steel band movement rests really with our men folk. So we thought it fitting to use steel band, which is a feature of the community of the town of St. George, to celebrate and to bring our community together. And we thought there's no better day to do it than on Father's Day.
Senator Joseph is optimistic that the event will promote strong, positive community spirit and reduce some of the negative influences and stigmas associated with the community.
Infused will be several local cultural acts, mainly soca artists, and of course, Rootsman Kelly, who is our reigning Calypso monarch. We would have former Groovy monarch, Blackadan. We would have Young Pert, Zeal, Lasho, LED, Chaos, Young Mad, and a host of other young up-and-coming artists, many of whom are from the community of the town of St. George. We are showcasing all of these local talents on the Carriacou Pedestrian Plaza, and we are doing so for the upliftment, enjoyment, and coming together of our community.
We Pan Fest will run from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. This story concludes the evening report for Wednesday, June 12, 2024. Thank you for joining us. I am Christian Mitchell.